The biggest question is, what documentation do I need the first time I visit the food pantry? If you're thinking about visiting a food pantry and you're unsure what that actually looks like or what you need to bring, then this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through a typical food pantry visit and answer a couple questions that people are often afraid to ask. Starting with, what documentation do I need to bring? In my area, there are several food resources, including a community food kitchen, several little free pantries, and more than 3 of your typical grocery-style food banks. Out of all of them, only one of these free food options near me have required ID and proof of address. It was a grocery-style food bank type, and I reached out to them when I first moved to the area. I did not have proof of address at the time, but luckily they informed me that they can offer me a temporary membership for 3 months with my out-of-state ID and a handwritten letter stating my living circumstances. So just so you know and are aware, if you do not have any documentation available, still reach out to these resources. You might be able to get some free food either way. What do you actually get from the food pantry? Usual basics that you'll get from a food pantry, grocery style, or little free pantry style visit is things like peanut butter and jelly, a lot of bread that gets donated very frequently. You get dry rice, beans, and pasta. You often get canned soup, beans, proteins, and sauces for your pasta. Sometimes you get a frozen protein. You can get snacks, drinks, and even hygiene supplies such as soap and toilet paper if you are lucky. How food pantries decide what to give you. So they usually ask simple questions that require no documentation at all. Basically relies on an honor system of these questions. They'll ask you your name, how many people are in your household, and what county or city you live in, because sometimes they do have requirements that you have to live in a required one. And that's usually it. You can sometimes find that you fill out a paper with this information, or you have to verbally confirm this information maybe every single time that you visit. The biggest indicator for what they're going to give you is usually the household size. However, there are some pantries that don't take it into account at all, and they'll give everybody the same amount of items. If that's the case and you have a large family, make sure that you have a backup plan or another food pantry that you can visit just in case. What a food pantry visit looks like when you are new. So sometimes they'll show you around. If you're not comfortable talking to people, just be polite and remember that most of these people are here volunteering their time every single week, and they're trying to help out so many people. And oftentimes they're in a rush to keep the system going, so it'll usually be a quick how-to, tell you where to walk through, and if they have any rules such as don't touch the food. Now, there will be times where you have to figure it out on your own, which depending on the type of person you are, you might prefer it this way. But in these cases, you'll usually see somebody giving out a number, or you'll see people lining up and you could just hop on the line. Lastly, I want to touch on what changes week to week at the food pantry. Honestly, it's pretty consistent when it comes to the routine of it all, such as getting online or getting a number, and the volunteers that you see week to week. The items that you receive may change drastically from, let's say you're receiving a dozen eggs and a carton or 2 of milk every single time. Suddenly, for weeks, it could be that they don't have the eggs or milk because they haven't received those type of donations. It really depends on what food is being donated only, and you can ask them if they think they'll be getting any soon, but majority of the time, they don't know what they'll be receiving until their donation trucks actually show up. In these cases, you also need a backup plan, or you'll need to get these items from the grocery store if you really need milk for the kids or eggs for breakfast. In my personal experience, they were giving juice at my food pantry for a very long time, but it's been months since they've had juice again, and that juice was so good. If you are considering going to the food bank or food pantry, please do so. As I always say, we all deserve to eat. Thank you guys for tuning in today to this video. I hope that it helped out somebody out there. If you have specific questions, make sure to drop them down below. I'll be answering them in future videos. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.